What's going on, everybody? This is Jay Ghost talking for the TYT Nation in regards to a recent discussion that has happened in regards to Hollywood and piracy. It kind of came up in regard on the Google Glasses episode, and I'll just go ahead and show that to you really quickly.
I mean, I think it's important for theaters such as AMC to have regulations or rules in place that let patrons know, hey, you know what? If you do have this technology, unfortunately, we're not going to allow you to come into the theater with it because we're worried about people recording the movie and putting it online and, basically stealing from these production companies that have spent millions and millions of dollars to make this movie. So I can understand those concerns. But again, the feds don't need to get involved in it to this extent and to interrogate him. Like, take him at his word. You don't need to interrogate him for an hour. If you want to see if there's anything recorded on the Google Glass, then that's one thing. But asking him all of these really invasive questions is unnecessary.
Right. So, I mean, how do we balance, stopping pirating movies, which obviously is an important piece of the Hollywood economy, versus privacy?
I think Google's got some splaining to do here. They're going to have to figure out how they're going to keep people from getting in trouble, their customers from getting in trouble, if they want this to become a widely adopted device.
Now, what disappointed me greatly in regards to this story is exactly what I've laid out. There have been some false equivalency balances in regards to what was being discussed for each one. For Anna, she's trying to say that, well, the AMC should have the right to sit down and decide who gets to record and who doesn't. But here's the problem. Even if nobody is recording, why should people be treated as if they're criminals when they're paying good money to see a movie? They're seeing a copy of the original anyway. And that's something that I don't think people necessarily grasp in regards to the piracy laws and everything else. But as you can see on screen, Hollywood is making a killing in regards to profits. Now, the profits, I'm going to sit down and explain really quickly just some of what has been going on. Just by Ryan Founder's article, which I hope will be linked in the underbar for TYT Nation. Some critics are calling 2013 the best movie year in a decade. And although critical darlings don't always produce profits, it will also be the highest grossing year on record. Barely. After a shaky spring and a summer of high-profile hits and misses, the box office is projected to reach $10.9 billion this year, up slightly from last year's record of $10.8 billion. In other words, piracy is not causing any losses to the industry as we speak. Sure, the MPAA is complaining about piracy each and every which way, but they've complained about every last innovation that has helped them for decades now.
Piracy, as it is now and as it could be in the future, is a cancer in the belly of the film business.
Jack Valenti has gone on record as saying, in regards to the VCR, it's akin to a woman with a Boston Strangler. In regards to Dan Glickman or Carrie Sherman or any of these people that are in Hollywood who work for the recording industry or work for the MPAA, they've gone to various lengths to try to usurp any innovation that actually comes up to help them. The DVD, they've worked to try to have the CSS and innovation stopped or halted just so they can make more money. In regards to the internet, I mean, these are the people that protect or push for SOPA. In regards to Chris Dodd, right now, he makes $3.3 million just to complain about piracy as a lobbyist. And he said he wasn't going to lobby. So for anybody to sit here and come in with this dichotomy that piracy is affecting Hollywood, I don't understand this need for that dichotomy. And then to sit here and say we need a balance of privacy rights versus piracy rights, I don't think people are understanding quite a lot about what piracy actually does. Piracy is innovative. It works to help people that may not look or see a movie, but in terms of constitutional rights, they have a right to decide if they want to see a cam version of a movie versus seeing it in regards to outside of the movie theaters. But all of the piracy that goes on is the fault of Hollywood itself and not allowing or having access to legal goods and legal alternatives to piracy. That's usually what happens in terms of Netflix and Hulu and other forms of media or streaming sites. Those help to drop piracy in terms of allowing people to have digital goods at a fairly decent rate. That's what Hollywood has been trying to fight or trying to control. How much money do they want to make? They can actually make a lot more money if they would stop focusing so much on piracy and instead focus on more profile hits, higher profile things that the public wants or demands. Going after the internet is just stupid and it's doomed to failure, as SOPA has been telling us. Now, in regards to does Google need to do something, I don't agree. Why haven't we gone after the Motion Picture Association for doing the same thing for the last 40 years? Jack Valenti has been saying a lot of crazy things, and now Chris Dodd, that entire culture of Hollywood of saying we have to fight and destroy piracy. What in the hell have we learned from that? It doesn't seem that we've learned anything in the last 40 years unless we actually believe that the MPAA and the RIAA actually represent the public instead of their own corporate interests. I'm disappointed with what was being said in that meeting. So I just wanted to have this video out just to say piracy is not the answer. Hollywood has been making money, and to have anybody suggest that piracy is the issue when it's instead the MPAA, as we can see here, and then not to even criticize them for what they're doing in terms of their zero tolerance policies. I mean, this has been going on for quite some time. And you're telling me I should believe that the MPAA, along with AMC, since they allowed this crazy thing, should just bring in their private police force, the ICE? I'm disappointed with that. I'm sorry for ranting so long. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day. But this really did need to be said. Take care and see you next time.